Welcome back everyone, Triple M here. Today we're unboxing and testing the Feiyu Pocket 2. Now this is a brand new release. Today's August 3rd and this is a lightweight gimbal. Name's the Pocket 2. It fits directly in your pocket, and once I unbox it, you'll see how tiny this thing is. Now this can be a good addition if you're a blogger, if you're someone who just likes photography, you like taking cool videos. This has a lot of cool features. So at the forefront, stabilization is going to be the main feature. So it does have a 3-axis gimbal, does record in 4K up to 60 frames per second. But along with 4K recording, you also have motion lapse, time lapse, panoramic. You also have slow motions. So a lot of different shooting modes, and in addition, it does have a lot of different modes that you can change with the gimbal to get the effect that you're looking for. Now the camera itself does have a 130-degree field of view, aluminum alloy body, built-in microphone, built-in speaker, 12 megapixel camera, and when you pair this up with the companion app, whether you're on iOS or Android, this really unlocks a lot of cool features of this gimbal. Now the LCD screen on this is a touchscreen, and we'll demonstrate that here a little bit in the video. But along with that, it does come with an 875 milliamp hour battery, which should give you recording time up to 4 hours at 1080p. So this video, we're going to do a quick unboxing. We're going to go to the different modes, see how everything functions. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you guys think of this device. Again, big shout out to Feiyu for sponsoring this video. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So first thing you're gonna have is a contact card. You can scan this with your phone, go directly to their website if you want to go ahead and get in contact with them. You also have a quick start guide. This is going to tell you everything, guys, how the buttons work, the device, so definitely worth a read. Now you're also going to get a thank you card with some warranty information on the back. Now next you're going to have a carrying case. This is built of rubber, so this is going to keep your gimbal protected while you have it on the go with you. Now inside the case you have a USB-A to USB-C. You also have a wrist strap which will prevent you from dropping the gimbal. Now on the case itself, you can see it does have a USB-C cutout. That way you can charge it while it's inside the case, which I think is a good addition. Now take a look around the device. You see it has a joystick right there. It also presses in for additional functions. You also have the shutter button. On the side you have the power button and your speaker. Nothing on the front. On the side you have your USB charger and your micro SD. Of course the LCD on the front. On the bottom you have a quarter 20. That way you can put on a tripod. You also have the connection point for the wrist strap. Now here's the gimbal itself. It does kind of flow freely, so there's no lock-in mechanism. But when you put it in the case, it will secure it. Let's go ahead and get this plastic off. And we'll go ahead and peel it off the LCD screen as well. As far as getting this in the case, you just need to make sure that USB-C port is facing down. The gimbal naturally kind of falls how it will, and it will just slide in. After putting it in the case a couple of times, you really get used to it, guys. It doesn't take long. So here's a comparison in the case next to the iPhone. It's a pretty tiny device, and like I said, it easily slides in your pocket. Now shout out to Feiyu again and Lexar for sending out this SD card with the camera. So this is 100 megabits per second read speed, it looks like. This one is 64 gigs, and I'll go ahead and link this card in the description as well. All right, so got the SD card installed. I'm going to go ahead and power it up. We're going to select our language. And before we get into the operations and the UI, I do know that there's a firmware update, which you will need your mobile phone to install this firmware. I am going to go ahead and update it, but we'll go through the mobile application here in a little bit. I like how they actually did this. They made it to where when you power the device off and you go to put it in the case, it actually goes in one way. So slide in that way. The face of the camera is always going to be facing down. It takes a little getting used to with this always being in the way, but if you turn it like this, and it should slide in that way, and then you should be able to go ahead and secure it. Now while it's secure, one thing I noticed is that the power button is still visible right here. During my experience, I didn't hit it on accident anytime, but I can see that where that might become a problem. If it's in certain areas, you might accidentally hit it, but I haven't experienced that yet. And if you guys are using the wrist strap, that pass-through is there as well. So here's the gimbal, and like I said, this is tinier than I thought it was going to be. This is really tiny, so really fits in the palm of my hand. However weird that looks, probably a little bit taller than my palm sideways, so this is meant to simply slide in your pocket and you're on the go. Let's go ahead and power it up. The camera is actually facing directly at my computer. I can use this joystick to move it around. All right, it stops right there and you move it back all the way around. And it stops right there, but turn this around this way. You can kind of see what's happening with the gimbal. So it is stabilized in that way. If I twist it like this, it does have a follow mode, and we'll get into the different modes here in a little bit. And if I go up and down, you can see it stays pretty stable. So this is doing a good job overall. All right, so a couple different things. So this is going to be your main record button. So when you push it, it will start taking video. So you can hear it start recording. From here, you're good to kind of go what you need to do. You can see I'm pivoting back and forth there, and I can go ahead and stop. So when it's recording, I don't know if you guys can see this, it does have a green indicator right there, kind of let you know that, hey, I'm recording. That way you'll know when you're actually taking video or not. So let's get into the modes and settings, and what I'll do is I'll put sample videos of each mode that we go through. So first of all, if you swipe from the left, it's going to bring you to your gallery. So this is going to be everything that you record. You can see, you can play, you can delete it, you can add to your favorites, and you can kind of go through and kind of check your footage to see what you have. If you slide from the top, it's going to bring you to your settings. So this is all touchscreen, guys. So you have your super high quality, you have your wide angle viewing, and if you swipe the other way, you have your setup again, you have your face tracking, which is currently turned off. That is an option. So try it out. As you can see, it does work for the most part, especially when you're close to the camera. Move from left to right, it will track your face. However, if you step back like I'm doing right now and you start moving around, the box around your face become a little bit smaller and it has a little harder time keeping up with you. So I found that when you step away a little bit, it does lose your face, and then it either finds it and recenter, or it will just sit there until it picks up your face again. You have your normal display. So you have a couple display options. So if you click on it, it's going to bring you to your full screen display. Click on it, it's going to bring you to your normal display. So as far as your full screen, let's go ahead and try that out. So you guys see the whole screen is now filled with the video. So not sure if that works for you, but I find it better to have it like that, to where some of the screen's cut off, and it gives you a better reference as far as your framing. Next, you're going to have your professional mode, and that's going to give you more options to choose your brightness, choose your exposure, choose your white balance. So if you guys are really picky or you're a professional photographer, this mode might be for you. And last is going to be high brightness. So if you click on that, you can see the brightness go down to low, to medium, and this is essentially just the brightness of your screen, guys. So let's put it back to medium bright. If you swipe to the right, this is going to bring you different modes. So first, you're going to have photos. If you click on photos, in photos they have 4, 3, and 69, and as far as the timer, you can set it all the way up to 7 seconds. So next is going to be your videos. If you click on videos, you have 1080p at 16:9, you have 2.7K at 16:9, you also have 4K at 16:9. If you can look to the right, you have your frames per second. So this goes all the way down to 24 frames per second. And this goes all the way to 4K 60. Now, if you go to 2.7K, it does max out at 60 as well. However, if you go to 1080p, you can see you can shoot up to 120 frames per second. So if you guys want that slow motion, that option is there for you. Next, you're going to have your slow mode. You have your 4K at 2x, you have your 1080p at 4x, or you can go up to 720p at 8x. You also have your time lapse. So if you click on time lapse, you have your time lapse settings. So if you click on that, it's going to bring you 1080p all the way up to 4K. And then you have your motion lapse. And below that, you have your hyperlapse. And like I said, I will be showing you some sample footage there in a little bit. You have your panoramic. And that's all of the shooting modes, guys. So if you look, you do have your slow-mo, you do have your panoramic, you have your 4K at 60, you have your 1080p up to 120. So you do have some super slow motion included as well. And now if you swipe from the bottom, you have your different gimbal modes. So this is gonna basically change how the gimbal reacts. You can see right now the gimbals follow me everywhere I go. If I'm motion down, it does follow me down as well. You have your pan mode, so it takes wide angles, as you can see. Then you have your camera flip. So essentially flips the camera, gives you that selfie mode. That way, if you guys are doing selfies, you're doing live streams, or you're doing videos where you're actually walking and talking, you do have that flip mode as well. So beyond flip mode, you do have the smooth mode, which is supposed to give you some real stable footage. So that's something I'm definitely planning to test out. And the last option is the motion mode. Again, these are all meant for super footage. You can see the motor turn into like a sports mode. It's quick to react, not that slow reaction like we saw on the different modes. So this should give you good stable footage when you're moving around, when you're running. Joystick does have some quick launches, guys. So if you hold, you can see it goes into lock mode, pan mode. Double click, you can see it recenter. So if you guys are doing something and the gimbal kind of loses where it is, you can just do a double click and it should recenter. Triple click should do a quick flip of the camera. So if you're shooting in a certain mode and you want to flip it back, you do have that quick launch option. So I think a very important thing with a camera like this is the actual audio. This one does not have a built-in mic jack or any way for you to hook up an external mic. So whatever audio you get from this camera is what you're going to end up with. So unless you're planning to actually use this for B-roll or something like that, you want to take that in consideration. And like I said, I love the ability to just be able to flip it down when you need it. Let's go ahead and so right now we just walk in. This is 1080p. Just walk in, test. We're gonna do a running stabilization here in a little bit, but let me know what you guys think of the stabilization. And this is just normal walking. Let's go ahead and we'll do a little jog and see how much the footage changed. You see there's a lot of activity at the park today, a lot of people moving around. If I go that way, you can see that there's birds and stuff in that lake or pond or whatever it's considered right now. So so let me know what you guys think of the audio. What do you think of the stabilization of the video? I do have some more sample footage that I will be dropping. Arms fully extended here, hyper extended as far as it can go. This is a normal carrying mode with my elbow slightly bent, so this is probably more of how people would use this. Right now it looks like the white in the background is kind of peaking, so if I go down a little bit, should give me better coloring. So something to definitely keep into consideration. Let me go ahead and flip the camera around again. So let's go ahead and check out the app. First thing you'll need to do is power the device on. And we'll just go ahead and sit it right there for a little bit. In the application, guys, you will need to register with a email. This is pretty standard now. Most of these devices, they are requiring registration. So sign up. Once you hit sign up, go ahead and select your device. So they have a Feiyu Pocket, Feiyu Pocket 2, Feiyu Pocket 2S. So this is a Feiyu Pocket 2, and we're going to go ahead and hit quick connect. So what you'll need to do is head over to your device. You're going to go ahead and hit the shutter or the record button, hold it. And it should give you a name and password for the Wi-Fi. But what you'll need on this screen, you will need a QR code. If you look in the top, click on it, it will make it full screen. And that gives you the option to scan it with your device. So let's go ahead and connect. So it did go ahead and connect, but the first time I set this up, it did require a QR code. So this kind of makes the game look a little bit different, guys. Look how good that looks. So it's hard to tell on the smaller screen, but look how impressive that is. That is amazing. So of course it's hard to kind of translate on camera, but trust me when I say this looks pretty smooth on the mobile device. So let's go through it a little bit. The app, I believe, just brings out the best of this camera. So you have different options here, and you can go ahead and put it in your landscape, and it should make everything widescreen, which gives you a big view of everything that's going on. So on the top you have your picture, so you can view your gallery right there. Let's go ahead and go back. You also have your battery percentage, your movie format, your recording time in that particular format. If you hit on the menu right there, you do have the option to change the perspective to wide, narrow, ultra wide, anti-flickering. You can choose between 50 and 60 hertz. You have your grid, so if you prefer recording in your grid, you can go ahead and turn that on. You have the option to add your watermark, and under more, you have your option to format the SD card and view device information. The capture modes are going to be right here, so that's going to be a photo. You also have your video capture right there. So it does take a second to switch. You can record your video. You have your slow motion, time lapse, panel. So all the different video options are right here, and it's easy to get to. Just go ahead and slide. Up top you have your recording options. So right now I am in regular video, so I have 1080p, so I can slide it over to 4K if I wanted to. The frames per second will auto adjust based on what resolution you're shooting in. And to the right you also have the option to change it from regular quality to high quality. So below that you have some gimbal mode. So smooth follow, you have your pan model, you have your center, so this is going to basically just put everything where it needs to be. You also have the flip, which is going to flip the image. So if you look up here, the headphones to the left, it should flip to the right, just like that. Let's go ahead and flip it back. And you also have the option to flip the camera, guys. So here's the camera flip, here's the lights behind me, here's the rig that I got going. So let's go ahead and flip it back. So like I said, a lot of cool options here, but one option that I love and I've been playing with is this one right here, which the gimbal essentially follows your phone. So if you look, if you tilt it up, you can see that the gimbal is using your phone to essentially control the camera. Check it out. Definitely one of my favorite modes within the application. Let's go ahead and turn that off. On this as well, guys, if you flip it or if you have a regular screen, all you need to do is touch the spot where you want to record and the gimbal will move to that spot. So if I wanted to record right there, you can see I have some junk on my table. I can go ahead and do that. I still have the option to use the joystick to move it around on here as well, but completely up to you how you prefer your recording, how you want everything laid out. But like I said, guys, this mode right here, this is easily my favorite mode, and I think it does a good job on this. So let's go to pros and cons, the costs, as well as some recommendations for this device. So as far as the pros, guys, you know that I love the application. The video quality was stable, 4K looks great, a lot of features including the joystick, which I do love the fact that it does have a touchscreen. You can get to all your settings within the touchscreen, and the storage overall is just well done in my opinion. Also, I didn't mention that this can also be used as a webcam. So all you need to do is plug it up to your PC with a USB cable, Then you have the option to use as a storage device or camera. If you select camera, all you need to do is go to your computer, open whatever software you're using, and it should show up. So essentially it's plug and play, and I love that this feature is added. As far as some of the cons, I wish they would have done a better job on the night shooting. I tried to shoot in low light situations and the footage didn't come out really well. Another thing I wish they would incorporate either in the camera or in the application is the ability to go live stream. I do feel like with this being 2021, everything being connected to a network, you have the app available, that should be an option that's built in. Having said that, overall, I would definitely recommend this device. This currently is on Amazon for $359. I'll go ahead and leave a link where you can go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions about this camera, drop it in the comments. If you need me to do a follow-up or a Q&A, drop that in the comments as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.